studio here at the Hendersonville Chamber. I am so thrilled to welcome all of you here on Easter week. This is a beautiful, beautiful day, and we appreciate the fact that all of you have taken time out of your busy schedules to come and be a part of this luncheon with us. We've got a great speaker who you're going to hear from in a little bit. But first, before we get to that, I would like to ask David Jenkins to come and give us the invocation and pledge.
Thank you, Brenda. Just before we pray this morning, I would like to direct your attention to these postcards that are sitting on your table. And I want to take this opportunity to invite you to our prayer breakfast that will be on May 3rd, 2012, sponsored by the Community Pastor Association and, of course, the Sumner County YMCA. It'll be 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. at First Baptist, and the price is right there. $10 per person, $80 per table. You can register online. No money is due online. You just pay at the door at hendersonvillepastors.org. We always have a prayer breakfast at many of our businesses and our churches come together on that day, all government officials, and we want to take this opportunity to invite you out. It's going to be a great day, a great prayer breakfast in observance of our National Day of Prayer. That's on May the 3rd. Amen. Well, now that I've caught you in mid-chew, let's pray. Father, we thank you today for your many blessings to us. We thank you that we can come into this place and that we can be reminded of the great price you paid for us on this Easter week. And we thank you that we can come and that we live in this land of the free, the home of the brave. We thank you for grace. We thank you for the sacrifice you made, the freedoms that we have. Lord, we thank you for all the businesses that are represented in this room, all of the lives that have been touched by your power. And I pray, Lord, today that your blessing would continue to rest on Sumner County, on Hendersonville, Gallatin, Portland, Westmore, all the surrounding areas, Castellian Springs, White House. Lord, let your blessing rest upon us today. And I'm asking you, Lord, to touch each one that's in this room specifically. May they be blessed. May their businesses grow. And may they give you all the glory. We ask it in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Will you stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, David. We appreciate that very much. Okay, I'm going to stray a little bit from the agenda today because the Chamber is getting ready to do something that's not done in about 13 years, as a matter of fact. We have wonderful, wonderful members. All of you sitting in this room find value in this chamber. You wouldn't be sitting here. I don't know what's going on with this thing right this second, but I'm going to continue trying to talk with it. You're here because you understand that the Chamber does stuff for you. It connects you. It promotes your businesses. It provides educational opportunities for you. It supports our K through 12 and our community college and now Union University. It provides advocacy opportunities for you, and you all understand that. But there are lots of people out there, lots of businesses. Okay. I can't yell quite that loud. There are lots of businesses in our community who aren't getting that benefit. And we want to make sure that they do. And so, at the urging of our chair, Michelle Owens, we have begun to plan. This is charades, you understand. We have begun to plan a membership drive that is going to happen in May. We're so excited about it because we've already gotten a lot of the team members and the team leaders together who are going to and help that. Okay, we're going to do something with this, I don't know what. I want to mention to you that Sheila Woodall, who is up here at the front table, that. If you are a team leader and already in this room, would you stand up? Please don't be shy. If you're a team leader for the chamber membership drive, okay, there's 3. I know that we've got about 15 or 20. There's 4. Okay, thank you, Bruce, for standing up. You can sit down now. It's okay. These folks are going to need your help. They need people on their teams. They need enthusiastic people. They need for you to tell them who else might need to be on the team, or if you're interested in being a part of that. So that's going to happen the 15th, 16th, and 17th of May. We're anticipating bringing a couple of hundred new chamber members into the Hendersonville area Chamber of Commerce so that they can get out of their lives and their businesses the same benefits that you're already getting. So you're going to be seeing more of that. We're going to be putting some press releases in, some information in the newspapers. I'm so glad to see our newspapers represented here today, both the Star News and the Hendersonville Standard. So that's my shameless plug for the chamber today. And with that, I am going to bring our chair, Michelle Owens with Capital Bank, and she is going to present the program today. And let's all welcome Michelle. Okay, here we go. Happy April.
I would say welcome to spring, but I believe it's summer. Now we're going to start with our 8 new members that we got in March. The Hendersonville Medicine Association, Sarah Linton. Prographic Blueprints Incorporated, Tony Crick. Rematch Choice Properties, Stephanie Love. School Sales and Service, Angie Holloman. Chevy Pay Systems, Steve Swanson. Southern Pet Salon, Allison Kazalt. Sumner County Assessor of Properties, John Isbell. Well Now Urgent Care, Sam Tugger. If you're out and about, welcome these folks to our chamber. And now I'd like to take a minute to recognize our elected officials. So if you're here when I call your name, if you'll stand up and let us recognize you. Anthony Holt, our Sumner County Executive. Thank you. We have Scott Foster, the Mayor of Hendersonville. We have Frank Frail Sr., County Commissioner. Thank you. We also have Bill Kemp, the Sumner County Clerk. And we also have Ed Mayberry, the Gallatin City Vice Mayor. Mr. Mayor. Did I get everybody? All the elected officials? Well, thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to introduce our chair-elect, Len Silverman, to introduce our program. Len?
How's everybody doing today? I wanted to start out with a quick poll. How many people consider themselves to be entrepreneurs? Okay, put your hands up. How many of those people think they can spell the word? I run Huntington Learning Center. We do have a program for that. So but in all seriousness, of that group, I'm sure most would agree also that it's entrepreneurs who are at the heart of what makes America great. They're the backbone of what has created this country and keeps us strong. And that group needs to be supported. And that's why I'm so excited to present our speaker for today. One thing that I've learned is don't ad-lib on the introduction, so I'm actually going to read it. Today we have Michael Bertram, who is the President and CEO of the Entrepreneur Center, a serial entrepreneur who began his career at Hospital Corporation of America. Michael has a passion for helping individuals organize and grow their businesses. Michael served as president of Paradigm Health from 2000 to 2007. Prior to joining Paradigm Health, Michael was president of Theraphysics, a venture-backed specialty rehabilitation firm he founded in 1992. In addition to his work in the healthcare industry, Bertram also teaches strategy and entrepreneurship at the Owen Graduate School of Management at Vanderbilt University. Not that he's not busy enough, he's also a member of the Nashville Capital Network, the Angel Capital Group, a board member of Nashville's Technology Council. He serves on Nashville's International Business Council, a board member of Nashville's Small Business Council, on the board of Nashville's EO chapter, and also a special venture partner with Galen Partners Investment in New York. A very impressive man, and I, like you, are looking forward to hearing him. So without any further ado, Michael Bertram.
Good afternoon. It's a delight to work out on the microphone kinks before I got up. Such a pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Mayor, Madam Chairman, Lynn, and Amanda for all your great work with us at the center. It's delightful to be in this beautiful setting with you, enjoying lunch and talking about entrepreneurship. So what I'd like to do for the next little bit is just to tell you a little bit about what we're all about and how we're here to help you. And then I thought I would stop early enough to allow you a few moments of questions and then get you out of here on time. Does that make sense? All right, so let's enjoy this slide and see how we do. I have a few pictures in the background, but I'll mostly speak to them, so if you can't quite see them, don't worry about it. It's the conversation that matters more than anything. I grew up in a very small town in Mississippi named Boonville after the famous explorer Daniel Boone. It's a wide spot in the road with a Sonic and a Piggly Wiggly. If you know that type of town, you know exactly where I grew up. I was, as a young man, my father was a minister and a farmer. They had dual professions back then in the South because the minister didn't quite make enough money to feed a family, so we were farmers as well. And my mom ran the county health department because we didn't have a hospital. That's the size town I grew up in, but also I grew up with a very strong entrepreneurial spirit. And as a young man, I kind of knew that I really wanted to create and run businesses. I came to Nashville in Middle Tennessee because we had been vacationed as children at this place called Opryland. Remember that beautiful park? Yes, I thought you might. And I fell in love with the community, and there was a company here called HCA that was doing something really different in healthcare, and I wanted to work with them. I finished my degree at the University of Mississippi in physics and physical therapy, of all things, and I wanted to work in the healthcare profession in very different ways. I chose HCA. I was there for about 10 years. It was a beautiful training ground for me as a business person. But by 92, I had this incredible itch to just go start a company. And I really didn't realize the journey I was about to undertake because it's a very transformational part of your life to go try to create a business from nothing. But I started that journey in 92, and here in 2012, I am still enjoying the ride, and it's just a lot of fun. So I thought I would share with you some of the things we're trying to do at the Entrepreneur Center to do that. Over the years, I've had 3 healthcare companies. Most of them have been venture-backed that we create, build, and 5 to 7 years sell them and go to another one. I sold my last company at the very end of 2007. I had a 2-year lockup where I couldn't work in healthcare for a window of time just because of competitive worries from the purchaser. So I started working with then Governor Bredesen and our mayor in Nashville, Carl Dean, to talk just about what could we do around entrepreneurship. It turns out that the chamber, and I mean not the local chamber of Nashville, all the area chambers, I don't know if you all in the room realize this, but there's a consortium of all the chambers that do very cool things together. With this consortium of all the area chambers across Middle Tennessee have been talking about how do we get more entrepreneurs to choose Middle Tennessee as their home. So we decided to marry some forces and we started working on it together. Then in the spring of 2010, health reform passed. My non-compete was just expiring. I was all ready to start my next company. In fact, I'd already pulled down a sizable amount of money from GE Capital and Galen Partners to launch my 4th company. But when health reform passed, it was pretty clear this would be a very difficult time to start a new business. And so I returned the capital to those venture partners and thought about what I wanted to do for a few years. And I really felt that this was the thing for me, is to help bring up this entrepreneurial startup community for Middle Tennessee. And so I've been at this work now about 20 months, it feels like 20 years. something that I know in my heart that I just want to remind you of. The entrepreneurial spirit of our country is really what made us an amazing place to live. I mean, the very first settlers who decided to travel to a new land, that's about as entrepreneurial as you get. But if you look across who settled Middle Tennessee, and whether they were in publishing or insurance, or they floated the first boats down the rivers and set up camps along the rivers, or they created country music, or whatever they did, so many people in this community have made this a great place to live because they dared to dream the American dream and start something from nothing. And those are the people we celebrate because the entrepreneurial spirit is the most powerful force known to man to lift people out of poverty and change their life. And we live in a country where you get the privilege to do that. Not every country is so lucky. But for us, any of you in this room that have a dream of a company you want to start, you could do just that. Let me tell you a little bit about our genesis. The screen is small, so I'll talk to it. In 2007, myself and Mike Herman and Bobby Frist created a committee to start looking at what might we do to help early stage entrepreneurs. Because the challenge of starting a company is if any of you today said, I think I want to go create a business, and you've never done it before, you would find that figuring out the resources and the sources of capital and the structures you might need can take some time. And it's like trying to find the light switch in a dark room. So we wanted to change that and do something about it. We interviewed about 150 entrepreneurs. We did a partnership with the area chambers all across Middle Tennessee to get their input, and started working on a way we could do something a little different and magical to create sort of a front door of Middle Tennessee. As we did that, Mark Montgomery and at the time Todd Fetterman, who was running the technology council of our area, also invested some of their organization's resources to help us. And we brought up a website called the Entrepreneur Center. And on that website, we really began to define some of the steps it takes to start a business and invite people to be a part of the conversation. Within about 6 months, we had several thousands of people who had logged in saying, I would love to start a business. Tell me where to go, who to see, what I can do. So that's when I sort of got very much engaged in saying, I think I want to help. A group of us, private citizens, got together, because at this point we were just committees and ideas, and you know how that goes. And so we said, let's put our money where our mouth is and do something about it. So about 20, 25 of us each put in money and agreed to commit time. We formed a 501c3, which is a basic nonprofit organization, and we launched a board of directors, and we set out to do this work. I decided to take on the role as the leader when I chose not to start a healthcare company, and then we officially decided to launch a business. Now, something interesting happened in Middle Tennessee in late May of 2010. This is one of the iconic pictures of downtown. If you aren't quite so familiar with it, I found a really good rent space down by the river in Nashville. The building we're in had been underwater by about 14 feet for a couple of days. So you can imagine how it smelled. Something oozing out of the Cumberland still hangs on the walls in some places, in the basement, I think. But it was a great rent, and we thought, what the heck, why not? If we really want to rebuild the community, let's go where the damage was done, let's set up shop and let's start helping people. And so we did. And by July, we had the place pretty well cleaned up through a lot of great gifts of business leaders. We opened the space with a total cost of about $30,000. Which is amazing for a 7,000 square foot facility, fully tricked out with audio-visual, conference space, everything. And that's because a lot of people stepped up and said, you know, let me give some in-kind support to help you. So we had people donating time to paint, donating supplies, furniture. We didn't care if it was used or not. It was there to help make the work happen. And so we started screening and helping people with their businesses. On any given day, people walk in carrying in their hand what's their version of the American dream. Something they thought of, they want to do. Some of them are really good. Some of them are really bad. And some of them are just downright ugly. But it's their baby. It's their dream. You know, it's really hard to look over in the carriage and say, God, that's an ugly baby. You know, even though you thought it, you don't really say it. So we have to find a nice, finesseful way to get the message across and not kill the spirit. because the spirit is really what makes this a special place to live and what makes great entrepreneurs. So often what our job is coaching them on what it would take to transform this idea into a real business. Or have you considered, Mary, partnering with Joyce? She's starting something similar. The two of you together could probably pull this off and do something really good. So often we're matching people with other people that we think could really help them put this together. We do a mentoring program where we have business leaders who are volunteering their time to help coach startup companies to do this. We introduce them to sources of capital. We lead classes. We do all kinds of interesting things to get this off the ground. Basically, what we are doing for Middle Tennessee is creating a front door for entrepreneurs. We get referrals from everywhere, from law firms, from accounting firms, from banks, from venture capital funds, from tenant investors, from the Department of Tourism, from our chambers, and often we get it from people who heard about us. They're visiting Nashville or somewhere in your market or near Columbia or Franklin or Murfreesboro. They decide they want to live in Middle Tennessee. And they say, gosh, I'd like to start a business here. I'd like to relocate my business here. So those are the kinds of people that we work with as individuals who really want to get going and creating a business in our marketplace with this front door. And that doesn't mean we have every resource you need in the building. But our job is to know where the resources are, make it really easy for the entrepreneur to find them. And many of you have been great partners of ours. I would name some of you, but I just don't have the time in this limited space. But through help with Amanda in your local chamber, we have several of you already engaged in the work, and we deeply appreciate what you do. It makes a huge difference in us being able to help. So let me take a few minutes to give you a sense of the work we've accomplished, what we're doing, and what comes next. First is we're building out an entrepreneurial ecosystem, sort of a community, if you will, of individuals and organizations it takes to really help an entrepreneur have a higher probability of success. And that's extremely important to do because the odds of failure in starting a business is relatively high. And they're high for a very specific reason, and that is we don't know what we don't know. So our job is to try to eliminate some of that and identify the potholes. So there's several parts of things we've built out specifically. One is a way to screen the ideas, to make sure that people get a fair hearing and someone is listening intently and giving them really good feedback. Other things we do is mentoring and coaching. We run all kinds of classes. We put together all the basic ingredients, if you will, that can make a business really sing and do well. So this ecosystem, the space we live in, through this Startup Tennessee initiative we're doing at the Entrepreneur Center, is sort of this place from idea until you're ready for funding. That's the space we work in. Once you're ready for funding, my job is to help connect you to sources of capital. That could be everything from a bank relationship to an SBA loan to a tenant investor, an angel investor, whatever it may be, because every kind of business may need a different kind of capital. Then once we help you find the capital, you move out of the center and you move into your own right and get started. Our mantra is really simple, and that is turning ideas into reality, or taking what is in someone's head as their American dream and doing something with it. We've been relatively successful with a number of entrepreneurs that I'll share with you. We have several that are very important to go. We started this year a women's initiative in entrepreneurship. Because women are, a significant part of our population, a little more than 50%, yet in the entrepreneurial community that we have so far in Middle Tennessee, they're a relatively small minority. And so it's important that we reach out to women and give them the opportunity to do that. Now I realize for a woman entrepreneur, there are many other challenges in addition to starting a business, but no less important that we help. We're also working with a number of our youth and ethnic minorities because youth today are the highest unemployed group we have. High school graduates, as they finish, if they don't go to college, are facing about a 65% unemployment rate. So you almost have to get to college in some way if you want any credit. But even after you finish college, in our current economy, almost half of college graduates won't have a job in the first 6 months. Yet we have tools that can help them get employed almost overnight if they knew how to use them. For instance, last spring we taught a course in a little programming language that's open source called Ruby on Rails. Now, many of you have never heard of such a thing, and it sounds a little bit spooky to you. It's a very simple little programming language that happens to be really beautifully designed for iPhones we can pretty much teach someone basic programming in 12 weeks. Last spring, we took 12 unemployed college graduates from all over Middle Tennessee, and in 12 weeks got all of them jobs. Lowest paid was $45,000 a year. That's not bad for a 12-week investment. So there are interesting jobs in our market, but they aren't the traditional things you see. And with the economy continuing to shift us to more outsourced relationship and 1099 workers, which is growing faster than kudzu, we have a marketplace now that all of us, many of us at some point, will be entrepreneurial whether we meant to be or not, because we're an independent contractor to someone else. So teaching someone the critical thinking skills to really survive in this marketplace is just good life skills for everyone to know. So we're trying to reach beyond the traditional entrepreneur and involve many others in this work. Sorry you can't see the number. It was in red. It looks really good in the dark. Hard as heck to see in front of your windows, so I'll give it to you. We have screened almost 1,000 business ideas in 20 months. Almost 1,000 people walked in the door with some idea. And again, some of them are very odd, but some of them are very good. I remember I was there finishing cleaning up the place, and I literally mean putting in light bulbs and sweeping down cobwebs. And this gentleman walked in and says, "I hear you're opening an entrepreneur center." I said, "Yes, next week," meaning go away. I don't know, go away. You know, it's that sort of, it's done. He said, "Well, I've got an idea I want to talk to you about." So we sat down, and we had a card table because we didn't have our furniture yet. We started talking, and sure enough, this guy had a brilliant idea. I said, "Well, gosh, we'll have our furniture here tomorrow. When do you want to move in?" He said, "How about now?" I said, "Okay, sure." He said, "I got my laptop in the car, and that's my office." And so he started working there at that moment. That was August of 10. He stayed with us a year working on his idea, which is a fairly long time, but he had a fairly intricate technology idea that I thought was pretty disruptive. About a year later, we helped him raise $750,000 to get the business launched in an informatics space that is a competitor to a very big giant called Thomson Reuters. He provides data sets to hospitals. In less than a year, they have gone from zero, past break-even into profitability. They currently have 18 employees, moving to 50 by this fall. They will pass the 4 million revenue mark by the holidays. And I have about 8 to 10 of those kinds of stories all day long. You never remember the movie Forrest Gump, you don't know what's inside the box of chocolates. That's what coaching entrepreneurs are like. Sometimes there's a nut inside. But sometimes there's this amazing idea for someone who doesn't know the pathway to do something with it, but gosh, do they have an incredible idea. And if we help germinate those companies, and they live in our neighborhoods, and on our streets, and in our communities, they forever help change the economic landscape of what we do. And I think it's the most powerful thing we can do. I tell my friends when they look at me, because I will tell you, I keep some really crazy hours. John is here with me, and if you have any interest in following up, John Murdoch is our regional director for this market, and is a tremendously dedicated young man every day to help you get things done. So I keep some crazy hours, and my friends ask me, "Bertram, why are you doing this? You don't have to do this. Why are you doing this?" And I tell them, the work we are doing is as close to the Creator as I've ever felt. And I don't mean that in any sacrilegious way. But we are helping people take nothing and make something out of it. And those somethings we create give real people jobs, sends their kids to school and to college, puts food on their table, and ensures they have money tucked away for sickness or their retirement. There is no greater gift that you can ever have in your life, not only to do it for yourself, but to help someone else do it for themselves. And I will tell you, helping someone else do it is far more rewarding than even doing it for yourself. So that's kind of the reason we do what we do. Entrepreneurs come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and flavors. Our youngest one is 14. Our oldest one is almost 70. So if you're anywhere between those ages, which you'll mostly seem to be, boy, have we got a concept for you to work on. Now, why do companies fail? They fail because they walk through this valley that we call the Valley of Death. The Valley of Death is those first 3 to 6 to 12 months before you have enough cash coming in to pay the bills. You ever felt that feeling, anybody? So when you're walking through that, it's a pretty lonely place to be. So a lot of the work we do is helping people understand their business model, making sure they have enough cash set aside to carry them through that, and getting early customers engaged so that they have cash flow right away. Because if we can get them early customers, we can pretty much double the opportunity for success. And if we double their opportunity, many more of them are going to survive. We really use 4 M's in the way we teach people. The first, and this is what I do with investments. I'm a partner with Galen Partners in Manhattan. Our fund is about $1.8 billion, and we mostly invest in technology and healthcare. Within that large firm, there's 4 things we measure most companies by. So we use that same mantra to help startups in Middle Tennessee. The first is the management team, because it's really impossible for a single person to start a company that's successful. You need a team. It's very much a team sport. So who else do you need to help you? The second thing we work on is, beyond the team, what on earth is going to be your business model? Meaning, how does this thing make money? Because a business that doesn't really have a way to make money, or your idea, is probably art, not a business. And you should frame it and hang it on your wall and look at it. But don't go spend your life savings to do something that you don't think there's a return in. I tell entrepreneurs all the time, your money should be as valuable to you as the investor's money is to them. And if no one out there wants to invest in this concept, why are you giving your precious dollars to it as well? Make sure what you're creating is sound enough that it's worthy of your money, just as it might be worthy of an investor's money. Whether you take their money or not is relevant. Make sure it's a sound business model. The third is we identify who is the market and making sure we get early customers. And then finally, how much money do you need to get to solvency? We also do this other little thing called momentum. And that is, how do we create sort of the sexy factor that gets you noticed? Because lots of new companies get started. If you don't have some momentum, you're sort of lost in the noise of things that are out there. We host about 8 to 10 programs a month that provide entrepreneurs an opportunity to network, to learn, to grow. Some of them are based at our center there in Nashville. Others are based out in the community. We do programs in Clarksville. We do programs in Williamson County. The Williamson Chamber is having me do a series for them called Breakfast in Williamson, and it's just this entrepreneurial breakfast series that we're doing. Anytime you want to do something, consider us as a partner, because we're very committed to your marketplace here. We're very interested in what you're trying to do, and anything we can bring to your local community to help people think about this and survive and thrive and creating new businesses, we absolutely want to help. We've done, again, very hard to see, a little over 3,000 mentoring sessions. These are 3,000 some hours that some business person has volunteered to help a startup. Now, our mentors are people just like you who've had some degree of business success. They may be good at finance or law, marketing, accounting, whatever it may be. We team you up. We ask for you to give us a half a day a month for a 3, 6, 9, or 12-month commitment. And then we set up meetings for you. Then on your day at the center, if you're there for an afternoon, you'll meet with 4 little startups, all needing your expertise. And you basically hear their story, provide some guidance, create some notes that helps them move ahead, and then they meet other mentors. And it's a way for them to network with the business community. It's a great way for you to see all the new stuff in your categories. If you like to look at healthcare, technology, digital media, entertainment, logistics, whatever your interest is, we'll show you new startups in that space. You can say, oh, here's new stuff coming down the pike in my category. And the mentoring is extremely important, because nothing helps a startup entrepreneur than to talk to some other business person who's walked a mile in those shoes and helps them out. So I encourage any of you who want to do that, get involved with us there as well. We've had about 25,000 volunteer hours total since we opened. We are survived by our volunteers, and those are all kinds of men and women and college students who are helping us every single day make sure the work we do gets carried on. We also partnered with Governor Haslam this past summer. He toured and visited what we were doing there in Nashville back during the campaign in October that year. And when he and Chrissy were through this, he said to me afterwards, he said, if I'm elected, I really want us to do this across the state. So we announced this past July this initiative called Startup Tennessee. I want to tell you what that's all about. Startup Tennessee is an initiative that runs across all 97 counties. The Commissioner for Economic Development Commissioner Haggerty, basically reorganized the entire ECD structure into 9 zones. And those 9 zones sort of represent natural economies that exist in our state. So we organized an accelerator similar to our program there in Nashville for each of the 9 zones, so that there is an entrepreneurial program within an hour to an hour and a half drive of every citizen in Tennessee that you can get to. And then we're coordinating programs among them all. So the Entrepreneur Center serves as that hub for Middle Tennessee. So we're your resource here to help do that. We set up a similar program in Chattanooga, Jackson, Tullahoma, up in the Tri-Cities area, in Memphis. So it's spread out all over the state, and we're delighted to be a part of that initiative to grow new companies. We have a website there at startup10.com. It's a great place for a new startup to come log in. One of the benefits is we have partnered with Startup America, which is an initiative funded by the Case Foundation and the Kaufman Foundation. It's all private money. It's not government related at all, even though it sounds relatively patriotic. Startup America sounds good. But it's to help businesses launch. And so CEOs of Fortune 500s have offered time or money or in-kind support of their companies to help startups. That ranges from software, from Microsoft and Google, all the way through storage with Rackspace and Amazon, to time from FedEx and discounts on shipping and all kinds of interesting things. So if a startup in our community joins Startup Tennessee, they become Startup America, and there's a certain amount of resources they just get to help them get launched. So I'd like to have your companies that you know in your community part of us, because every one of them get a set of in-kind support that they have to go buy if they didn't do it otherwise, and we'd like for them to have the opportunity to be a part of that. So far, we've had about 500 companies become part of Startup Tennessee and Startup America all across the state and are utilizing those resources. We had the opportunity this past fall to host the first awards for entrepreneurs in Middle Tennessee. It's called the Next Awards. We drew about 700 people to the Renaissance Center there in Nashville for that event. We had a couple of your local entrepreneurs recognized, so many of you know them. This coming year, we will be in October. If you want to nominate someone from your community for entrepreneur recognition, the ballots are already open online at nextnashville.com, and you can go there and look at that. There'll be about 1,000 people at this year's event, and it's a great honor for those individuals. So if you have someone you want to nominate, we'd love to have them be a part of that event as well. We also are part of the Jumpstart Foundry. For many of you who are kind of new to this whole accelerator startup community, Jumpstart is a part of this program called TechStars out of Boulder. It's a great place that a startup can get launched. We're taking applications now for the summer. If you're selected, basically you get $15,000 in cash to help pay for your expenses over the summer. You work at our center every day from mid-May to mid-August. We have about 100 mentors there working with you to get your business transformed into a real business. And it's very much like a business boot camp. In 90 days, we try to get you ready for the investment community. Late August, we have about 300 investors in the audience, about 200 of those from out of state, 100 from in-state, and our folks we work with get to pitch their idea for investment capital. It's a terrific, terrific opportunity for a startup. If you have anybody in your community who wants to apply, we'd love to have them a part of the program. We spend about $500,000 each summer running that program. Last year, we had some terrific stars come out of it. Some really good companies have been launched. It gets them a lot of national notoriety. So if you have anyone in your community or a young person that wants to try their hand at a startup, it's as simple as an online application to get the name of the ring. We'd love to see you be a part of that. We also launched a campaign to expand our facilities. For those of you who are less familiar with the Nashville landscape, there's this hillside called Rolling Mill Hill just south of the city. It's on the bluff. It's where the old Metro General Hospital used to be in the thermal plant. We worked a deal with MDHA to give us a building that had been abandoned for about 30 years, but it's beautiful old property, historic registered triple brick wall kind of place. It's just pretty much run down and abandoned. So the deal was we could have it if we raised the money to rehab it. So we just finished raising about $4.5 million to renovate the building. It gives us about 22,000 square feet. We currently have 6,500, so to put it in perspective, we're going to jump to about 4x our size. That'll allow us to help about 50 startups all at once under the roof and allow us to host in our education classes about 200 people seated, and with the help of partnership of TVA, Cisco, and Microsoft, we'll be blasting it out across the entire southeastern U.S. So if you have an internet browser, you can participate in classes right from your home office, wherever you want to be, or from your iPad if you're wired up, and just participate in our class, even sitting in this room if you want. So the idea is to bring the message to the people, not ask people to drive necessarily to the message. So we think that will really be helpful. We're also hosting our very first Google Day for Middle Tennessee. It's an impressive first-time only thing. Google has agreed to leave their campus in California. They're flying 8 of their top programmers in, and we have about 300 entrepreneurs who are starting a business who will spend the day with Google programmers and learn how to use all of Google's tools as the backbone of their company. It also gets Google very familiar with the Middle Tennessee market and all the cool things they can do here. So that's going to be on April the 19th, and that's going to be an exciting day for our community to have that organization here in Middle Tennessee visiting what's going on. So why is this work important? I will wrap up in just a moment here. I think it's important because, again, hard to see, 75% of all net new jobs are created by companies less than 5 years old. If you really want new jobs in the community, you have to have new companies. Because once a company is more than 5 years old, on average, the job growth is fairly small. Lots of consolidations, things get bigger, then they get smaller, and so on. The fastest growth sectors in those first 5 years. So the more companies we seed into the ground around us, the faster jobs grow, particularly new jobs for our youth and first-time employees. So it's a very important part of our economy that we do together. People ask me then, what's sort of the summary of this thing? I think the thing to remember is that we are teaching people to fish. We're not feeding fish, though we could. What we're doing is giving people the tools and resources they need to learn how to take control of their own American dream. And those who dare to dream, we're there to help them and give them flight, help them find a way to soar and create a business. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I'll stop there and see if you got any questions for me before we adjourn.
How do you consider yourself to the SBA compliment or just another thing?
The SBA is a complement to us. The SBA is a strong program that provides some classing and some opportunity for capital, particularly with the loan program. We tend to attract individuals who are trying to really discover a business model to connect to something that's bigger than might be a lifestyle business, and are likely seeking investment of north of $100,000, which often puts them out of the SBA range for a very first-time company. Okay? But we're very complimentary. We refer folks back and forth all the time. Good question. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
First, let me say, wow, I had no idea that y'all did that spectrum of work. That's really impressive. And I think it's great that the state that we're taking some pieces. Second thing, though, that keeps nagging back in my mind, when I think of an entrepreneur, I typically think of a lone wolf. Somebody who kind of has an idea, it's their baby, like you said, you look in and sometimes they are attractive, but still, it's their baby. And I hear you that a lot of this success really comes from teaming and finding people who maybe have like interests or skills and working together. Do you find that to be the most difficult part of your job, to get these entrepreneurs to open themselves up to?
I think, you know what, it's funny, when people walk in the door, they're holding onto their business idea like it belongs in a vault. And I'm like, you know what, if you don't give this thing some air, it's going to die. Because it's got to get exposed to a customer and a banker and an attorney and friends, and somebody needs to help you test this, because sometimes you have a good idea, sometimes you ate a bad taco last night, and this is a bad taco topic, this has nothing to do with the business. And so trying to get them to understand and to let go of it is really important. Let me give you sort of the cascade of numbers so you can appreciate this. So we screened 1,000 people in 20 months. We've had, and every one of those 1,000 got feedback. And most of the time, the first time someone comes in, we test their perseverance. So we say, okay, we score them on an A, B, or C. If A, and A is the top score. And it's not necessarily a better grade. It says, we think you're so put together in 3 to 6 months, we could probably help you be getting capital. And we want the A's to literally start working with us every single day because we know we can get them capital and they can be employing people shortly. A B is a good concept that needs some mentoring and coaching, and it's probably 6 to 9 or 12 months away from that. A C is simply a concept. It's not a bad grade. It's just that you have an idea, you have no idea how to make money by yourself or whatever. So of the 1,000, probably 500 to 700 of them were C's. So I give them homework to do, or our mentors give them homework. It says, okay, for you to go from a C to an A, here's 3 things you need to do with this idea. Honestly, half of them never come back. And I think that's just fine. Because they realize this isn't as easy as it looks on TV. This is real work, and I got to work really long hours and weekends, and I don't think I want to do that. That's okay. It's not a good use of our time or their time to do it. But of the 500 that came back, 400 or so have been engaged in all kind of classes and mentoring, trying to improve their ideas. 50 of them in the last 20 months were so good we classed them as A's. And of that 50, we've already graduated 30-something of them. Those 30 have raised over $10 million in capital, and they employ about 200 people today. So those are sort of the pipe you go through now. Which of the 1,000 is going to make it to the 50, or which is going to be the story I told you a bit ago? Who knows? It has to do with perseverance, listening to customers, adjusting your plan based on what customers want. Anybody who's willing to do that is perfectly good to be an entrepreneur. The lone wolf era of entrepreneurship is ending, and it's ending because technology and social media and all force you right out of the gate to compete as though you were a large company. I mean, when marketing concepts were first created, you know, the 4 Ps, you ever heard of those? Well, those are throwbacks to buggy whips and 8-track tape era. Because back then, everybody opened a retail store and sold your merchandise on the street. Zappos and Amazon have pretty well ended that party. And you can still sell as a retailer, but you better be highly differentiated. Because a young person in their 20 to 30 is going to walk in with their iPhone, take a picture of your item with 2 keystrokes, can find out where they can buy it cheaper, order it, and it'll be at their house in 24 hours. That's the market we live in, no matter how big or small you are. So it's no longer a lone wolf game to win. You can still win, but you've got to play with the same tools everyone else is playing. And honestly, most of those tools are very inexpensive. The same thing we give an entrepreneur today to start a business cost me $500,000 when I started my first company in technology. And they're all free.
Of those 1,000 ideas in marketing, how many of those are products versus services and other products? What percentage do you have to pack in products?
I would say 35% were product, 65% were service. Of the services, they were healthcare, technology, and digital media entertainment oriented, because that's sort of the Middle Tennessee marketplace. Products were a number of consumer products. And your second part of your question was?
Roughly on products, what percentage do you have to pack in products?
Virtually every one of them, we put them through a patent exercise with attorneys who are donating time. Because we want you, even in a service, we want you to find intellectual property. So you may have a process patent, even with a service. One of the young men who graduated from one of our universities 2 summers ago came to Jumpstart last summer. And he's created a thing called Split Second. It plugs into your cigarette lighter, and it's sort of a poor man's OnStart. And the way it works is that you pre-program in 4 or 5 cell numbers you want notified if you're in a crash. And it has a GPS in it. Now, its utility has 2 or 3 factors. First is that I can put in my son and daughter's vehicle, which they have one. And if they're in a crash, I get a text message immediately of that crash, and it gives me the coordinates of what street they're on. That's a lot of peace of mind having a 21 and 22-year-old right now, okay? Because my son doesn't drive as safely as my daughter. Or she makes me think she drives safely. I just got one installed in my parents' vehicle because they live down in Boonville and they drive up the Natchez Trace to come visit. And while it's a beautiful scenic drive, for a 78-year-old and a 76-year-old whose vision isn't quite what it used to be, and deer running back and forth across the road, you never know where they might be or if they've got, antlers in the hood. So it gives me peace of mind to know on their journey. I know when they leave the house, I can clock them on my computer or my iPhone where they are. If they stop, I know where they've stopped. That's amazing. And given the number of cars out there that don't have GPS, it's been a very cool little business to see it start. So that's an example of one of the consumer products. Just even the engineering student says, I've created this thing and I need to figure out something to do with it. Well, my time is up. I want to be thoughtful of your end time. It's been a pleasure visiting with you. I hope you found something interesting and helpful. If you'd like to get involved in this, and anybody will stick around afterwards, we'd love to have your engagement in some way. We'd love to do some things locally here in Hendersonville with you. And all we need is some willing folks who want to give a little time and energy to it. And we'd love to have some local folks do something pretty amazing and help their American dream. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Alrighty, thank you very much. That was wonderful. Next, we're going to have our display tables come up. So if you have a display table, if you want to start making it this way. All right. And each month we have display tables along the side here, and we give them each a minute to tell us a little bit about their business. And we'll start with Lori.
Good afternoon. A lot of what our speaker mentioned goes right along with why I'm here. He mentioned women's entrepreneurship, and he mentioned the importance of college as far as your business or career goes. Well, volunteers, and his very first slide said, I think, turning ideas into reality. What Ball State Foundation, that's what we do. We turn the hopes and dreams of our students into realities. How do we do that? By providing them the financial means to attend college. Just a show of hands, how many had the opportunity to attend college? Okay. Now ladies, raise your hand again. They just raise your hand. Look around the room. We probably have this many ladies, no, we have a whole lot more ladies, that we are able to help at Ball State through scholarships. That's why I'm here, to promote the Educated Woman Luncheon. This is our 5th annual. It's a great event. I'm looking around the room, I'm seeing lots of ladies that have attended that event. Some of you have attended it every year. And there's a few gentlemen in the room. Thank you, as you know, for your continuous support of Educated Woman. Don Ames said when I did a Learn a Man luncheon that he would support that. So ladies, the luncheon is Friday, April the 27th. And some of our sponsors are actually in the room. Hendersonville Medical Center. I don't think anybody's here from Dollar General. The Hendersonville Star News, the Hendersonville Standard. And if any of you are in Gallatin and you see Miss Sue Pittman, this is her 3rd year sponsoring as our top sponsor. So thank her. And the reason she sponsors it is because a group of lawyers that she worked for made sure that she was able to go to college. And she feels like it's her chance to give back. I'm trying not to cry up here. So we're giving away a quick door prize. Oh, well, Sheraton's already been every year as well. You are kidding me. Put his name back.
All right. Next we have Marilyn White with World Ventures. Marilyn?
Hi guys. Most of you know me as a real estate broker, but I also do travel. I'm Marilyn White and this is Barbara Bowers, and we're from World Ventures, a Texas-based travel club that specializes in unique travel. It's a membership product. We have 700 to 800 trips every single year, better vacations, 4 or 5-star resorts. We have Royal Caribbean cruises, monthly specials for $69 for a 5-day cruise every single month. Our 6-year-old company is at $400 million a year in sales. We come for the unique travel experience with things like concierges on site to help you plan your excursions, but we stay for the exceptional people and the personal development classes and books that we read. Today we're giving away a subscription to Travel and Leisure magazine for a year. And Michelle, did you draw?
Did Don put his part in it? Oh, Mike Towell.
Mike.
opportunities for this next month. The Chamber has a leads exchange at the Chamber office every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. and every Wednesday at noon. The April Business After Hours will be April 18th, and it will be hosted by the Tennessee State Soccer Association with Carrabba's, and that will be from 5 to 7. The May Luncheon will be on the 7th, and the guest speaker will be Mayor Scott Foster here at Bluegrass Country Club. The United Chambers Luncheon will be held on April the 10th at First Baptist of Hendersonville. The cost is $25, and reservations can be made at the Gallatin Chamber. Upcoming advocate opportunities, we have our April Coffee and Conversations. We'll be here at Bluegrass at 7:30 on April 13th, and it will be with the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. And we're going to have Wendy talk to us just a minute about upcoming promotion opportunities.
It's that time again. It's the 22nd annual golf tournament will be the 23rd. 22nd is the 20 on the 23rd is the 22nd annual, so it's getting very confusing. We have a lot of sponsors lined up. We're so thankful to Commercial Credit Reports, Hendersonville Hyundai and Sumner Roofing, and the Goddard School for stepping up for those top-level sponsors. But I have several opportunities available for this day. We have already sold out players, so if you were waiting for that last minute to sign up to play, I'm so sorry, but I only have one spot to fill. So if you want to fill that last team spot. So that means for all of you who are sponsoring that we will have a course full of people that you can network with and get your business in front of for the day. So where else in a beautiful afternoon, an excuse to get out of work and you're to still be working. So sign up with me. Samantha, raise your hand because she's got forms. We really want to try to sell this tournament out because this is a fundraiser for the Chamber. Lots of whole sponsors left and some cart sponsors. And the beverage cart is everybody's favorite spot on the course for the day. And you can only imagine why, but I need 2 sponsors for that. So if you're interested, see me or Sam at the end of this luncheon.
And I'm Sheila Woodall, and I am very, very excited to be at the podium and ask you to save the date for June 15th, 2012. It is our Night Among the Stars, our Chamber Awards banquet. And we're very, very excited this year to be connecting with Rod Kessel to be part of that with us. And Jenna Von Kessel will scream at the top of her lungs about that. She's very passionate about it. So if you have questions about the awards banquet or you want to get tickets, as always, you can connect with our wonderful ladies at the Chamber office. You can contact myself or Jenna Von Kessel with the UPS store here in Hendersonville. And on the table in the back, if you know me very well, you know I have a hard time staying in one spot or being real still, so I apologize for not being at the table for a long length of time, but we do have forms back there for you to vote for the large business of the year, the small business of the year, as well as for sponsorships and some more information about the awards banquet. So we have sponsorships available for gold, silver, and bronze, and we look forward for you having on your dancing shoes for the awards banquet this year. June 15th.
Thank you, Sheila.
I didn't tell you all that Sheila has also just recently signed on as our 1099 contract worker for membership. So we are, that's right. We're one of those businesses around that is growing through contract workers as well, and we really, really are delighted that Sheila has agreed to come on in that regard. We have 3 door prizes that we're going to give this afternoon, but before I give those away, I'm going to remind you again about the April 10th United Chambers Luncheon. Leland Statham is our guest speaker that day. The Order of the Horse will be given away that day, and you know, who knows? It might be somebody in this room. Not that I know anything, but you never can tell. So we'd like for all of you to consider being a part of that. We've got a gift certificate from Signature Cleaners, don't we? No, we don't. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull one from Signature Cleaners. I've got a jetpack here as well. Dr. Eric Stamper for Signature Cleaners, a $25 gift certificate. And we've got a jetpack from Jet's Pizza, and that is going to Steve Lawrence with Maxim Benefits Group. Steve, I'm glad to see you here today. And then we have a 1-month trial for our enhanced directory listing that's coming from the chamber, and that is going to be Gina Scott with Pinnacle Bank. And I want to mention one more thing about the Entrepreneur Center and Startup Tennessee. Michael mentioned Amanda's name a couple of times, and I want all of you to know, in case you don't, that this chamber has had a business accelerator program in effect now for almost 4 years. We are delighted to have the opportunity to partner with Startup Tennessee so that we can learn from them and can leverage those resources, and they have been very, very willing to allow us to do that. Amanda went down with a group of about 7 folks from Sumner County to take mentor training. So there are people in Sumner County who are already involved in this, and we're really, really pleased about that. If any of you are interested in that and want to mentor the folks coming through our local accelerator, let us know. If you would like to be involved with Startup Tennessee, we want to spread the news there. Have a great afternoon. Thank you all for being here. See you soon.